Perhaps I should feel some twinge of guilt at all I have done, but I've had little time for scruples. It was once an honor to be entombed within these ancient catacombs, but centuries have passed, and now only the brave or foolhardy walk these tunnels. Perhaps I'm the last living soul here, although I'm far from alone. This is not my story, although I am the architect of what transpires. A conspirator in the ruination that threatens the heretic kingdoms, and the most unlikely of alliances that might yet save us all.
Thou summons me. What is thy pact?
I seek only that we shall both survive.
Thou hast a liar's tongue, and cannot be trusted.
I do not ask you to trust me, nor should you. I would betray you without hesitation, if I deemed it necessary. But we are fortunate, you and I. We have the same enemies. Our only hope lies in partnership, which is precisely why I have summoned you here, demon. You were summoned without a pact, so whichever soul you devour will now bind you to a path beyond anyone's control. Choose wisely, demon. Evia, the daughter of fire, a princess of the Imperial Gerulian Empire. She would have been God Empress if she had not rebelled. She died on the Reliquary Crusade 3 centuries ago. I don't know how. A mage with incredible potential. She had not only harnessed the elemental power of flame, but also learned the mysterious ways of the Sand Mage. Choose Evia if you wish to harness the arcane powers of a mage.
Did I... Am I dead? What is this place?
I know not of this place, but thou art indeed dead. That soul is mine
now. This cannot be! Mother, is this your revenge?
Can you hear me, daughter of fire?
I can.
Do you remember the Reliquary Crusade? Do you recall how you died?
Lady Mara, Tarin, and the others. We were raiding my mother's vault in order to defeat her. I do not remember what happened.
Tarin betrayed you, but I never learned what transpired. This mystery is yours to solve, I'm afraid.
Do not speak as if I am not present, mortals.
Patience, demon. Your fate is bound to Evia's now, as is my own. Now make haste to the city of Thul that lies above this crypt. A cenotaph can transport you there. Our fates are bound together, demon. Either we shall find a way to survive together, or we shall both surely perish.
Thou threatens me?
No. Something far more dangerous than I threatens us all. Join me in the Tholian Arcanum as soon as you can. We have much to discuss.
These are the catacombs beneath Thol, yet they are in ruins.
Thou dost not fear me?
I'm a princess of the Imperial family. I fear no demon.
Thou shouldst fear me. Thy soul is mine.
You keep telling yourself that.
How pitiful! A step closer to my final form! Thou art already dead. Pathetic! I shall handle this myself. I shall show thee true power. This must be the cenotaph the Hooded Man spoke of. Its power breaches shadow. There is much I might do here. This cenotaph is erected upon the graves of many dead mortals. It shall be easy to gate-weave back to this place, should I find another such monument. And I sense a gate here already. The Hooded Man's work, mayhap. It must be the way out he mentioned. Thou knows this place?
It's the regional garrison at Thule, or it was. It lies in ruins. Was there a war? No. These stones fell centuries ago.
Thou hast been dead a long time.
Then what has become of my mother's empire? Were we victorious? Has the Gerulian god empress fallen?
Perched atop an ancient stone plateau, amidst the red sands of the Outlands, lies the city of Thole. Centuries ago, it was a major garrison for the Gerulian Empire, and there may even have been a settlement prior to this era. These days, Thole is a city of thieves and outcasts. Fugitives of all kinds come here to avoid complications in neighboring nations. Not everyone in Thole has a price upon his head, but no one who dwells here is innocent. The Guild of Steel like to call themselves mercenaries, protecting the few caravans that ply their trade across the desert. Yet those that do not pay for their protection find the Guild equally adept at brigandage. The Guild of Silk call themselves merchants, and do indeed sell all manner of goods and trinkets, though it is best not to ask them from whence they came. A vast stone gate is all that remains of the Barbican that once defended these walls. Now, it guards the city of Thole once more from the horde of nomads that besiege it. For 3 years, I have been hiding here amid the detritus of the heretic kingdoms. But it is only a matter of time before my former allies locate me. and I am running out of places to hide.
I should be the one to talk for us here. I demand an immediate audience with the Imperator of Thol.
Imperator? No one has held that title for 300 years.
Then you are in charge of Thol?
I am Duke Darmok Cadasta, Intendant of Thol.
On whose authority do you rule?
I am a vassal of Baron Tar Avenger. And you are?
You may call me Evia. I am visiting Thol incognito to pursue a personal matter, so I would appreciate your discretion.
If this is about vengeance, I ask you that you keep your dueling from the streets. It is bad enough that we are besieged without duels breaking out.
Thol is under siege.
Indeed, a horde of nomads under the command of an exiled Taimurian berserker.
Thol's defenses have protected it from assault for centuries.
Aye, and the city shall not fall under my watch. Welcome to Thol, Evia. I will keep my eye on you. Te Ma Al-Ortas.
300 years. This looks like the Arcanum. I wonder who has a key. Are you the Silk Master?
I am the head of the Guild of Silk, milady.
Guild of Silk? When were the merchants allowed to form guilds?
Milady, who in the city is going to stop us?
Forgive me. Thol is not as I remember it.
Really? It's the same old crap hole it's ever been. My name is Arashad. How should I address you, milady?
Call me Evia.
What do you need?
What can you tell me about the Garulian Empire?
Why do you want to know?
It's a personal matter. When did the Empire fall?
Oh, some 3 centuries ago? I don't know much about it. Something about the sword and the theocrat. The start of a terrible era for some lands, I understand. I only really know the history of Thol, I'm afraid. How can I help?
What survives from the Empire in Thol?
Precious little, milady. This once mighty settlement is reduced to ruins. The Tholian catacombs were once a very popular burial site for Garulian nobles, I'm told. But without one of the catacomb keys, it would be hard to explore too far. However, I've read that there might be an imperial tomb somewhere in the chambers to the west. If this part of history interests you, you should certainly search around the burial grounds. That place is crawling with aphotic spiders, though, so be careful, my lady. You have questions?
Might I render you aid in return for something?
Milady, it would be my honor to have your assistance in a number of problematic situations. I've lost a few merchants to aphotic spider attacks at night. Nasty creatures. And recently hiding in every shadow, it seems. There's also a more, delicate matter. One involving, shall we say, a reappropriation of assets. Please, ask your questions.
How fares the Guild of Silk?
Alas, 'tis a bad time to be a Tholian merchant. The city is surrounded by a horde of nomads intent on sacking it. Terrible things lurk in the shadows of the catacombs. On the other hand, Guild of Silk profits are up this quarter. Nothing like a siege to drive up the price of food, huh? You have questions?
How long will the supplies last?
Hard to say, really. Possibly a year? If a sandstorm forces the nomads to retreat, even longer. Not to mention that the Intendant is an excellent gate weaver. He may have means to help us beyond even this. It's an inconvenience, but there are bigger dangers within the walls than without. Please, ask your questions.
What can you tell me about the Intendant?
Very little, milady. He overthrew my father as Intendant. I had no love for my father, but he was bloodkin, you know? I do not trust the Duke, and not just because he's in the Order of the Veil. Everyone knows the Order is just the thin veneer of respectability the Inquisition uses to cloak its institutional corruption. Thole would be better off without him. How can I help?
I can take care of the aphotic spiders for you.
I would be most grateful, milady. Bring me the carcasses of 10 spiders, and I'll pay you 5 apiece. Search inside the burial grounds, southwest of the market. They seem to be infesting there in great numbers. You have questions?
What do you need stolen, and why?
When he defeated my father and became Intendant, Darmok also took something. A sword, a family heirloom, you might say. It was given to my father by my grandfather, and to him by his father before him. Darmok gave it to the mercenaries as a gift, to secure his alliance with them. But the sword is mine by right of birth, and I want it back. Take this key. It will open the cellar to the Guild of Steel. The sword will be down there somewhere, I'm certain. Far too valuable as a bargaining chip for anyone to be wielding it. Find the sword and bring it back to me. I will pay you 200 in return. You will know it by the engraved pattern of 2 entwined serpents on the hilt and blade. How can I help?
Eldershot, try outside the main doors into the guild.
A letter. wonders have begun. Evia shall finish.
Afraid to face me? What in hell?
The skeleton of an Ishkai and a human. What transpired, I wonder? must determine the means to open this. You shall become naught but dust. Sounded like the cellar door. Have to try upstairs. If you wish death, I will grant your request. Continue to grow without limit?
I hear that Rabath pays a high price for poultices.
What do you need?
I believe this is your father's sword.
Can it be? You have no idea what this means to me. Please, you must accept this purse of coins with my thanks.
$200, as we agreed.
Of course, of course. You have questions?
What do you know about a Sura mercenary coming to Thole?
This is really none of my business. Please, leave me out of this. How can I help?
Weapons, armor, supplies, the best prices, unbeatable quality.
Your goods are evidently quite poor. How exactly are they of unbeatable quality?
Nothing better without leaving Thole, Mom. And that's a promise.
Indeed, but not much of one. There's an Ishkai and a human skeleton in the hostel. What do you know of this?
This is the first I've heard of this. The other merchants had more to do with the hostel than I did, though. You came back? Wonderful!
What do you know about a Sura mercenary coming to Thole?
Don't know anything useful about that, I'm afraid, but I'll bet someone in town does. Weapons, armor, supplies. Always a pleasure.
Surely, my friend, you tire of trawling the city streets in search of someone to buy your unwanted goods. Look no further. I will buy quality goods from you at prices that are more than fair.
What do you know about a Sura mercenary coming to Thole?
I remember seeing the Sura mercenary talking to Fayruz before he left. And Fayruz looked mighty pleased about it too. Please, if you speak to Fayruz, don't mention I said anything. I want nothing to do with the Sura, now or ever. Ah, what do you have for me?
Can you tell me the story behind the skeletons in the old hostel?
There are dead bodies in that place. Honestly, you'd think someone from the guild would have noticed. I suppose the building has been abandoned for a while now. Haven't seen anyone go inside since the siege started. Bring your unwanted goods to me. Think of me when you have goods you do not need. Bring your unwanted goods to me. I'll give you a fair price. Your customers are always welcome.
My weapons are the finest around.
Can you tell me the story behind the skeletons in the old hostel?
I don't know anything about that. Ask Rabat. He dealt with the owner. Best weapons in...
What do you know about a Sura mercenary coming to Thole?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Are you certain you don't know anything at all?
I said I don't know anything. Now, if you aren't buying anything, be on your way. No unbeats. Come back when you need more armaments.
Welcome, welcome.
What do you know about a Sura mercenary coming to Thole?
I wasn't even in town when it happened. You'll have to ask elsewhere. Welcome, welcome.
What do you know about Fairuz making deals with the Sura?
I wouldn't put it past him, but I'm afraid I've no idea what happened that day. Welcome, welcome. You are always welcome here.
These are dangerous times for one without sufficient protection. Come, sample my fine wares. I have...
What do you know about a Sura mercenary coming to Thole?
Can't tell you anything about the Sura, I'm afraid. I never get too close to them. When you've been a merchant for as long as I have, you learn when to keep your distance from their kind. Back again, I see.
What do you know about Fairuz making deals with the Sura?
I don't really know what Fairuz gets up to, but he sure had a lot of silver on him that day the Sura was in town. You don't think... No, forget I asked. I don't want to know. Helms, mail, braces. May you prevail in all your battles, my friend.
Always good to see you, friend.
What do you know about a Sura mercenary coming to Thole?
He came through the gates, went to the hostel, and left. That's all I know, really. I was just glad to see him leave town, to be honest. Always good to see you, friend.
What do you know about Fairuz making deals with the Sura?
No doubt about it. That Sura definitely gave something to Fairuz before leaving town. But if he asks, you didn't hear that from me. Always good to see you, friend. Be safe.
No one beats me on...
You can either tell me what your deal with the Sura was, or you can experience the power of a mage firsthand.
Don't hurt me. I just arranged the messenger, I swear. Kench, the woman who ran the hostel, she asked me to get a message to the one-eyed Sura warrior. He paid me in silver for informing him. But I was only doing what Kench asked of me. You have my word. Best weapons in the Outlands are...
What was Kench doing dealing with the Sura?
She sold him out. The Ishkai, who was living there, betrayed him to save her own neck. You wouldn't know to look at her, but Kench brokered contracts for mercenaries all around the heretic kingdoms. Before she came to Thole, she hired the one-eyed Sura, but the job went sour. Her employer was slain, and the Sura was never paid. If there's one thing you don't do in the mercenary business, it's welsh on a debt to a Sura warrior. I guess she saw handing over the Ishkai as a way to wipe out her debts. No one beats me. Come back when you need more armaments.
Rorschach, come out from whence thee hides. Thou hast misplaced thy trust in thy friend, Kench. She betrayed thee. Yet another letter. So, she did not betray thee, and thou hast guarded her fallen remains since thy deaths. How touching. Come, spirit, thy vigil has ended. Join me. That soul is mine now.
An Ishkai sniper will make an excellent ally.
And thankfully, a silent one. Thou shalt face me now.
How can I help?
Where do you want these rather unpleasant spider carcasses?
I'll take those. I believe 50 was the agreed price.
What are you going to do with those?
Probably best not to ask. Although I would avoid the soup kitchen tomorrow, milady. Of course, the infestation will continue as long as the spiders can reach Thole. I wonder if they could be prevented from reaching the burial ground somehow. Please, ask your questions.
Will you pay me for preventing the spiders entering the burial grounds?
Of course. For you, milady, I will pay 100 coins for this favor.
Very well.
I've heard there's a statue near where the spiders are appearing. That would seem to be a sensible place to start. How can I help? Please, ask your...
Did you know someone named Kench?
She used to run the hostel, didn't she? Honestly, outside the Guild of Silk, my knowledge of the people of Thole gets a little sketchy. Please, ask your questions.
That should suffice for Arashat's purposes. You shall become naught but dust.
What do you need?
I modified the architecture somewhat. It should reduce the intensity of the spider infestation.
I am grateful, milady. Here are the 100 coins we discussed. This will hopefully buy some time, but it won't end the problem. As long as the queen lives, the spiders will keep returning, though. Please, ask your question.
I can slay the aphotic queen. What can you offer in return?
For you, milady, 300.
Done. It may take a while to locate her, though.
You have questions?
Best weapons in the outland.
Always good to see you, friend.
Did you know someone named Kench?
Yes, of course. She used to run the hostel when I was supplying them. Seemed friendly enough, and I didn't pry. Everyone in Thor has secrets, you know. Always good to see you, friend. What do you have for me?
Did you know someone named Kench?
I know of her, sure, but I haven't seen her since the siege began. What do you...
Weapons, armor, supplies, excellent prices.
Do you know anything of use, merchant?
Tell you what, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I need to collect the weekly tariffs from Wani and Rabbi Thantesset, only they're never keen to pay up. Someone like you could compel their compliance rather well, don't you think? If you get the money, I'll tell you something useful. Weapons, armor, supplies, excellent price. Helms, mail, braces.
hope the statue I destroyed wasn't load-bearing. A new path. The consequence of my architectural changes, perhaps.
What do you need?
We must be on our guard. may be called for. I shall not fall this day!
Be defeated. The end is nigh. Pitiful fool. This place looks better in shadow. Pitiful fool. Many souls remain here to be devoured.